Yo, what's going on guys, Ian77 here. In today's video we're going to be using 3.0 XBOW, which is the best XBOW deck of all time in Clash Royale. Alright, hopping in the first match here, we're going to be up against this guy. We don't have XBOW in our starting hand, but unlike with like Hog Rider or something, you never really want to start out with your win condition. You always at least want to have like at least some card down before you go with an XBOW, unless you know what deck they're playing, so better to be a little bit more passive. Alright, so this guy's gonna have E-Barbs here, so E-Barbs Mega Minion, probably gonna be some beatdown deck. It could be like one or two things here. I think it might be Golem, so gonna have to try to get a lot of damage in single elixir, because honestly Golem is pretty difficult right now. Ever since the Xbow nerf, they can always really easily kill your Xbows with like a lightning plus bar barrel, and it doesn't really get like almost any damage on the tower like it used to get before the nerf a while ago at this point. But okay, so we're actually gonna get quite a big Xbow lock here. We went with the Xbow right as he went with the baby dragon. I was kind of like predicting that he would go with the baby dragon, and looks like it's gonna do pretty well for us here. Unfortunately, we did miss one of the E-Barbs with the log. It kind of moved a little bit weirdly. So it looks like he will get a bit of extra damage because of that, but we're already in a pretty good spot there. The best thing you can do with Xbow against Golem is to like prediction Xbow right as you expect them to drop like a unit in the back to stop one of your things if it's if it's like 3 elixir or over. Because normally you can always Xbow if it's like a 4 elixir unit and they won't have enough for Golem in single elixir, but sometimes if you like Xbow right as they go in with a Mega Minion, they won't have enough elixir for the Golem either, so if you're kind of like predicting some of their plays, you can sometimes get a lock as well, even when they don't use like the 4 elixir card. Okay, so we're actually going to get a high Tesla here. Kind of just want to use it in that position just so that it finishes off the Golem nicely, and maybe even like hits the baby dragon, but it does die, but a pretty clean defense here anyways. And he's actually going to go with E-Barbs at the bridge, not really sure why. We should be able to defend them pretty easily. And he's going to give us a fireball on the Night Witch. Ever since the Night Witch kind of rework, it's really bad against fireball, because now you can just like fireball plus log it away super easily, and it doesn't have any death bats, so I'm going to clean it up pretty nicely here. Gonna set up a bit of an early Tesla though, just in case he goes with the lightning on it, then we should be able to get back to another Tesla pretty quick. And he does actually go with the lightning here, but we're already back to another Tesla, and it's gonna finish off the baby dragon and also just distract the Golem a bit, so we should be looking pretty good here. Gonna get another set of archers just in case to defend these E-Barbs, and we're kind of just kiting them every which way, so pretty good here. And I think should be in spell cycle range. You're probably gonna need like 3 logs and 2 fireballs, so just gonna start it here. It is gonna be a little bit close here, but I think we should be able to get it since it is double elixir time. Yeah, it will be a bit sketchy. I think I'll just fireball on defense here in a second though. Yeah, just gonna use it to finish off this Night Witch. Don't really wanna make it too close, but yeah, gonna get like 5 archers down, so I think we should be pretty good here. And yeah, so now we just need a fireball log in. Pretty easy win against Golem, which is actually one of the more difficult matchups. Alright, hopping in the next game here, we're going to have archers in our starting hand and Xbow next up, so I think the best starting play is always to go with split archers, at least if you have Xbow in your hand or up next. If you don't have archers in your hand, it's always fine to go with like Ice Spirit, Skeletons, or Log on their tower. Sometimes it is okay to go with a Knight as well, but you usually want to wait a few seconds before going for a Knight, so yeah. It looks like we will be up against Log Bait here most likely. He didn't show his barrel yet, but he does have Princess and Rocket and all that stuff, so pretty sure it will be Log Bait here. This matchup did used to be quite a lot better when Xbow 3.0 had the Ice Golem in it, but is still a pretty okay matchup now, especially since he has Valkyrie. If he had Knight, it would probably make his cycle a bit faster, and it could make it a little bit more difficult for us to outcycle him, but I think it should be pretty okay here. He's going to give us a fireball on that Princess, so just going to always take the fireballs. Going to be the main way that we can get some chip damage early on, because if he plays super well, we probably won't really be able to get many Xbow locks, if any, so yeah. I remember this used to be one of the easiest matchups for Xbow players, but ever since the Logbait players kind of got more smart about this matchup, it became quite a lot harder, so you do have to play it a bit smarter now and kind of use your cards pretty wisely. I'm just going to go with skeletons here. It's always good to go with like skeletons or ice spirit to protect your Xbow, because just in the odd case that they go with like an inferno tower to distract it, it's always good to have the Xbow up, the Xbow kind of protected with something. And it's always nice to go with those skeletons there because it helps you cycle to another Xbow even if they do rocket it, so doesn't really put you in any type of bad spot or anything like that. Alright, so I'm going to go with Xbow here again. We kind of just, I think we outcycled him a little bit. He probably is already going to be back to rocket, but I feel like we're slowly kind of outcycling him, so I think we're probably going to outcycle his rocket here in a bit. Just gonna play our knight here, gonna log this, and gonna go with the Xbow in the same lane as the knight, because I know he doesn't have a rocket ready, so he won't be able to like rocket both or anything like that. I'm just gonna fireball his inferno tower as well, just to finish it off a bit quicker. Honestly, the inferno tower actually has a ton of HP, so would have taken our Xbow forever to take it down if we hadn't fireballed. And we're gonna get some archers here, just like slowly chipping away the Valk. We're gonna log as well here. Just to hopefully get a small lock. He is going to log though, so he does clean up pretty nicely, but yeah, we caught him really low on elixir there, so Xbow going to get a pretty big lock, and he's still going to have to rocket it, so pretty good here for us. Now that we have like a pretty big lead, we should be looking pretty good here. We just have to like apply pressure with our Xbow so he won't be able to like rocket cycle us or something. And yeah, so like the ideal spot is that you would get like a small Xbow lock against Logbait, and then you kind of just want to play a bit more, I don't know how to say it, but you kind of want to like play a bit aggressive, but like not like super aggressive. You just want to play aggressive enough to where you force them out to, or where you kind of like force them to not be able to rocket cycle you and play full offense, but you still force them to use those rockets and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna skeletons here. Okay. We did kind of mess up a little bit there. I was kind of expecting his goblin barrel to be a little bit farther back, so I thought the skeletons could pull it a bit more, but a couple of them actually went towards our tower, so it is getting a little bit closer than I'd like right now, but it should be fine. And he is actually going to predict our Xbow with the Inferno Tower, but I'm just going to fireball it because it was played kind of far back, so we can hit the Inferno Tower and the tower. Okay, so he does defend pretty well here, but we're just going to go with these archers, and he's going to actually rocket us, so gonna be a little bit careful here of him trying to predict our Xbow, so just gonna go with a Tesla first and then an Xbow. Alright, so he's gonna go with a princess, and I'm actually gonna fireball this Inferno Tower. It could actually catch him off guard, and wow, perfect timing. Yes, that was actually really smart by us there. We went with like a fireball on his Inferno Tower, so he went with the aggressive Goblin Barrel because he wasn't expecting the Inferno Tower to die so fast, but because of that fireball we actually won that game, so pretty nice win here. Alright, hopping in the next game here, we're gonna have a bit of a more awkward cycle. We can cycle an Ice Spirit, but it is gonna be a bit awkward to cycle the Knight, but I guess we'll just go for it here. I'm just playing my cards like kind of quicker than normal, just for the sake of the video, but normally I would usually advise waiting like 3 or 5 seconds to play your Knight, just to see if they play anything that you can react to. Alright, so this guy is gonna have Queen here, so yeah, I was kind of expecting that it could be Royal Hogs, so it is going to be Hoggies here. And he's actually going to go with a really aggressive EQ there. I'm not even going to spend archers or something. I'm just going to try to punish him, hopefully. This should be a little bit of a difficult matchup, though, because he does have Earthquake, so Earthquake matchups are usually always pretty hard, but just going to go with an Xbow here. I'm going to go with the archers to hopefully protect it against whatever he uses. Alright, so let's go with Hoggies here. Honestly, maybe the archers weren't the best there. I probably could have went with the fireball instead on the piggies, but I was kind of expecting that he would try to like snipe it with a queen or cannon or something, so not the best play by us, but we're still in a pretty decent situation. He actually had to spend the cannon on that Ice Spirit, so that's actually pretty good for us right here. And yeah, so the one nice thing here is that he doesn't have like a knight or anything, so he can't really tank the Xbows too well besides with his Royal Hogs, so if we can kind of like get him in an awkward spot with those Hoggies, like if we just like fireball them away or something, we can be looking pretty good. And he's gonna go with a delivery, so I'm just gonna go with an Xbow. I'm gonna fireball his queen as well. And looks like we are going to get a bit of an Xbow log. He's going to Earthquake log it, but it still took a few seconds to wipe the Xbow off the board, so we're actually in the damage lead right now. Yeah, so I just went with that Xbow there, because he already spent 3 elixir on that delivery, so I knew we could get away with it, and going to be pretty good here. And I'm probably going to go with quite a bit of high Teslas and stuff later in the game, because it will always, like, kind of, like, block up his Hoggies. Like, a lot of the time they'll try to go with, like, split Hoggies in the middle and then distract the Xbow for, like, a second while the piggies are in the air with, like, a spirit or, like, skeletons. So, always good to have the Tesla in the middle, just block the chance of them using that. And he does actually misplace the cannon there, but I'm just going to fireball it anyways, just for a bit of chip damage on his tower. This may very well be quite a chip-dependent game. Unlikely that we'll really get much of an Xbow lock unless he kind of slips up, which he could actually slip up here, because we are looking pretty good. Gonna actually catch his cannon there with this skeleton, so yeah, we're actually gonna get a small Xbow lock here, so actually really good for us right now. Alright, so this is actually a pretty safe position right now. Now we're just gonna be like cycling our logs, maybe get a couple of fireballs if he gives us some good value, and just going to be a little bit more patient here though, because he's probably going to try to clog up the lane quite a bit, so don't want to like feed into him too much or anything like that. And he's actually going to go with the early queen ability there, honestly kind of wasted. And I wasn't really going to go for an Xbow, but since he wasted the Earthquake, I think there's no reason not to, and we're actually going to get the Xbow lock there, so that's actually going to be GG against one of the most popular decks, so you can definitely still beat Earthquake decks even though they are difficult. Alright, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be facing this guy. Just going to cycle a log here in a second. Don't really want to play our knight or anything like that, and just going to see what he does. So, looks like he is going to leak a little bit here, so I'm just going to cycle my knight anyways, and looks like he is going to go with the Royal Ghost, so it could be like Mega Knight or just some type of bridge spam deck. Going to be interesting though. Alright, he's going to go with the Magic Archer there. So he's probably going to be playing Pekka. He might be playing the E-Barbs version as well. I'm not really sure yet, though. Alright. I think we might actually be able to activate King Tower here, with the Skeletons plus Ice Spirit, and yeah, looks like we do get it there, so this is already really good for us, to be honest. And it looks like he is going to be playing Pekka here, so I'm just going to go with an Xbow. Especially with the activated King Tower, I'm not really too worried about defense, so I'm pretty comfortable going with the offensive Xbow. We can probably just like archers plus skeletons on defense. Alright, so the Xbow does target the Pekka actually, so I'm going to try to pull it to the side with skeletons, but it looks like it's not going to be enough because of the Pekka's range, so I'm just going to go with a log on it as well. And looks like we are going to get quite a big Xbow log here, so already looking super good by us. And it's always a pretty good idea to split archers against the ghost, because if you don't want to waste your knight, you can pretty easily counter with split archers, so you do have a few ways to defend some of their bridge spam units. You do sometimes have to be careful with them prediction zapping your skeletons though when you use it to defend their bandits or whatever, so that's one thing to watch out for. Alright, so I think I'm going to Tesla here in a second. It should be able to hit the magic archer, so yeah. And he's actually going to go with the Battle Ram at the same exact time, so we did get like a 2-in-1 value, so really smart Tesla by us. And I'm just going to go with an Xbow because we got such a good value Tesla. And he's even going to zap as well, so we might be able to actually stop his Pekka here from really hitting our Xbow, because he wasted his zap on the on whatever else we had before. And it looks like we are going to get a small walk here. Alright, so at this point, we probably just need like a couple more fireballs or something, and that's probably going to be game here in a little bit. Honestly, a pretty good matchup, but honestly, we also played really well, so pretty fun game here. It's always enjoyable facing bridge spam when you're using Xbow, because you just have all those nice defensive units, and always really good to activate your King Tower. Okay, he's going to go with the Desperation Pekka here. I'm just going to log first so that I can cycle back to another log, hopefully to finish off his Magic Archer in a bit. I'm gonna get it off here, so just need like one more fireball here, so just defending for dear life, and that's probably gonna be GG right here. Alright, hopping in the final match, we're gonna be up against this guy. We actually haven't really had Xbow in our starting hand any of the games, so we're just gonna be forced to be a bit more passive. As I did say in like some previous videos, it is sometimes okay to go with like Xbow kind of early on. Like if I were to split archers and my opponent didn't respond to it with anything, I'll just go with the Xbow at the bridge. So you can kind of go with Xbows a little bit early on if they're being like really passive, but it kind of just depends on you because I'm a bit more of an aggressive Xbow player, but I know not everyone is. Alright, so I actually think I know what this guy's playing, so I'm actually gonna fireball his Bomber, which seems pretty aggressive, but I'm pretty sure he's actually playing like this really weird Electro Giant deck. Yeah, and judging by that NATO, I'm pretty certain he is actually gonna be playing that. I'm pretty sure it's an Electro Giant Rocket deck, so this is gonna be a really passive game, probably. Just gonna be like spell cycle and applying a bit of pressure with our Xbow and support units. And he's gonna go with the middle Tesla there, so I'm just gonna go with an Xbow because I know he won't have enough for E-Giant right away, so should get a little bit of Xbow chip. Not too much, but everything counts, so pretty happy with that. The nice thing for us is that E-Giant costs 8 elixir, so if he goes in for the rocket on our tower, even if it's like double elixir or something, he won't have enough time to get back to. He won't have enough time to like put down his E-Giant to stop an Xbow if he tries to rocket cycle our tower. Could be a little bit more difficult in triple elixir though, where you can probably start rocket cycling us. So I kind of want to get a good early lead, and looks like we're already in a pretty good spot right now. So yeah, it is gonna be a kind of rinse and repeat game, but he is gonna go with another Tesla here. So I'm also just gonna go with an Xbow. Gonna go with a Ice Spirit as well. The Ice Spirit didn't really help too much actually because the Tesla popped up and kind of soaked up a couple of our Xbow shots that could have hit his tower, but just gonna fireball him here, honestly, because if he goes with the E-Giant in the back, we're just gonna pressure with another Xbow, and if he tries to rocket us, we can also pressure with an Xbow, so I don't really think he can do too much right here. I'm just gonna cycle archers in the left lane here, because I don't really want to give him any log value or any tornado value. Alright, I never want to let any of his fire spirits connect. That's the main thing we have to watch out for, but yeah, and I'm always gonna make sure to kill his Teslas as quickly as possible, because if he like stacks those Teslas, he can probably just like start rocket cycling us, so then by the time we finish off his Tesla, he could just get an E-Giant down on our Xbow. So yeah, and he's actually gonna waste the tornado there, so I'm just gonna go with a fireball, and we're actually gonna predict his Bomber right there. So totally calculated and really good for us right here. Alright, so we're already in a pretty big lead here, so I think if we just keep doing what we're doing, we probably will win this game. He's gonna go with a high Bomber, but I'm still gonna fireball his tower alone, because he can't really stop us anyways, and yeah, kind of a rinse and repeat game, but Xbow is sometimes like this. You do sometimes just have to play those games where you keep doing the same stuff over and over, but usually does still pay off to be patient. And he's actually going to go with the E-Giant here, so I'm just going to go with an Xbow. I guess he's just getting a bit impatient of not playing his E-Giant at all, but I'm not really going to do too much for him right there. And he's going to waste the rocket, so I'm just going to go with another fireball. Going to hit his king to add insult to injury as well. And yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to go with a Tesla, because I know sometimes they like going with E-Giants and then like rocketing the Tesla or whatever building you, so I'm just going to make sure I pre-Tesla so I have another Tesla back if he were to do that. Looks like Xbow is going to lock, so that's probably going to be GG. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!